happy new year. And since it's the beginning of the year, I know everybody's wanting to read their books and get into new books. And if you saw my bookshelves, then you know I got some recommendations. I got some good recommendations, but I'm also going to share with you guys my TBR because I have a lot of books that I've started reading and haven't finished, which is a bad habit I have, especially with Christian nonfiction books. I have a very bad habit of starting them and not finishing them. But this year, we're gonna finish them. So if you haven't liked the video already, go ahead and like it because you're gonna love all these books that I recommend to you today. I think we should start off with the books I'm gonna recommend. And the first book I have is Yes, You Can Really Change by Chip Ingram. And this book taught me exactly what it says, which is that you can really change. He really breaks down why people don't change and how you can change and how Jesus is the true power to change. And if I had to describe this book in one word, it would be change. I'm trying to challenge myself to sum up the books in one word, and that has to be the word for this one. And I tried to pick books off of my shelf that can really motivate you for the new year. And I feel like sometimes we feel like we can't change, and that's why we don't accomplish any of our goals or even start on any of our goals, and why we give up so easily. So this book is the perfect book to get you going and saying, you know what? Yes, I can change. And yes, it's a little lengthy, so it's gonna take you a minute. It took me a hot minute, but it's worth it. Then we have Redeeming Your Time by Jordan Raymer. And I think, as someone who's so terrible at time management, this book really brings biblical values into that and how to manage your time with Jesus, which sounds so great, right? Because we could pick up all the productivity books. I was gonna put Atomic Habits in this because I actually do have Atomic Habits, and Atomic Habits is a great book, but I really wanted to put Christian productivity, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's even a category, but if that was a category, it would be this book would be at the top of it. And like I said, perfect for the new year. He talks about things like starting with the word, letting your yes be your yes, prioritizing your yeses, and embracing productive rest. And I'm gonna let y'all read it. And obviously I liked it. And the next book I have is The Pathway to Freedom. And this book is surprisingly about God's law and how God's laws guide our lives and proves how much he loves us. I feel like it's such a misunderstanding about the Ten Commandments, what they're really for. But if you really could go simply read Romans and understand that the law reveals our sin, but this book really breaks it down perfectly. So freedom would be a good word for this. Then we have How to Grow by Daryl Dash, applying the gospel to your life. This is another one of those biblical productivity books that I wish we had so much more of, and it literally is exactly about I don't want to say that, but that's literally what it's about. And it says, do you want to enjoy God more? Are you stuck or stagnant in your spiritual life? Are you tired of trying and failing to white knuckle your way into sainthood? We all want to grow, but how do we actually do it? And it's very, I want to say easy to understand. It's simple, Then for those of us who want to go out and spread the gospel this year, we have Truth Plus Love by Matt Brown, which this is one of the first Christian books I picked up, and it really taught me about how we can't have just truth when it comes to talking to people, because that's gonna come off. There's such a perfect analogy. I think it's in Hebrews. I cannot think of it right now. But if we do too much love, then people are just gonna. It's like a watered down gospel, and it's two different gospels. It's not the true gospel. But this book really breaks it down on how we can have truth plus love, because too much of one or the other doesn't really do anything. And like I said, I really wish I could think of that verse right now, but it really sums up this book. I probably just put it on the screen. I don't want this video to be super long, but it'll probably be super long. The next book, my mentor Katie actually gave this to me. This should be in my TBR because I have not touched it. So I don't know why this is in the books I recommend because I haven't read it, but I really wanted to mention it because I know hearing God is such like a topic. I feel like people just want to know, how do I hear God? How do I hear God? And I've dived into this topic a little bit, even on my channel. But I've always wanted to read a book on how I can really hear God more. And yeah, and it says, God is always speaking, perhaps in ways you haven't considered. Learn how to truly listen. Because I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to miss God when he's speaking. You know what I'm saying? And then we have Purity is Possible. And like I said, I really want to make a whole video on living free. It says how to live free of the fantasy trap. And this is mainly for women, not gonna lie. But this book was very, very, very good to me. As someone who struggled with watching and masturbating and fantasizing and all these things, this book is so taboo and it's like not talked about in the community enough. And I really encourage anybody to pick this book up. And women struggle with sexual fantasies, erotica, and porn, and it's the great unspoken issue of our age. If you are one of those women, you are not alone. You have been courageous by picking up this book, and no matter what you've done, a beautiful purity is still possible. And just look at the popular books that are so popular these days. Like, half the books that these girls are reading is literally let me stop saying that word because I know but it literally is, and it's such a trap. And especially when you talk yourself into like, hey, like I'm not watching it, or hey, like, oh, I skipped those parts of the book, blah blah. Like I said, I really want to make a whole video about this, but this book is so good and it's so needed in the community. And of course, I have to put some Lee Strobel in here. It's called The Case for Faith. And it's exactly, if you read The Case for Christ, then it's like the case, like, it's so cool how he was an atheist. And I love seeing people like dive into topics and just proving that Christianity is the true religion and that Jesus is the only way. And this is one of those books. And this is literally exactly what it sounds like. It's The Case for Faith. And on the back it says, was God telling the truth when he said, you will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart? And if you know Lee Strobel, then he's gonna dive right into that expeditiously. Oh, found some highlighting I did there. I remember having a lot of revelations while I was reading this book, like a lot. Like, it makes you think about a lot. So yes, please go pick up this book, or any Lee Strobel book for that matter. All right, and the next book I have is actually a Christian fiction book, and it is called The Masterpiece by Francine Rivers, and I loved it. I always heard about Francine Rivers, and I heard she was just a great author, but I've heard like iffy things about Redeeming Love. I started Redeeming Love and I didn't finish it. Actually, like, I started it, I did not finish it, just because, like, I don't know, I think I actually have tabs in here, but I don't know, maybe I'll finish it. Everyone loves it, but it's just like, the way things are going, I was not loving it. Don't take me, but yeah, that's all I have to say. But this book was fantastic. Why are you so far away? Why are you so far away? What happened? This book was good. Especially about this painter. There's this painter guy, and she hires her as his personal assistant. And of course, you know, I can't really tell the story without spoiling it, even though you know where it's gonna go because it's a Christian fiction. But like, and there's like a sprinkle of romance in it. And you know, we love a sprinkle of romance. So I love this book definitely if you're trying to get into Christian fiction, I definitely recommend this book. Speaking of, we're gonna go to my TBR now, which I have The Lady's Mind by Francine, I can't talk, The Lady's Mind by Francine Rivers. And we actually have If I Believe, which is part of a series that I started a long time ago and I just have not finished. My friend Miracle actually has the first book, but there's like 4 books, and it just follows these 4 women and their stories. And I really hope it updates me of them in this book because I kind of forgot. But yeah, they all have different stories. Like one's like super young and she's in this relationship with this guy she shouldn't be in a relationship with. And we got one girl who's like married, but her marriage is like a little shaky. And we got like a single. It's a very mixed variety. And you know, they're beautiful Black queens. And I'm always here for that. So yeah, that's on my TBR. I have like literally every C.S. Lewis book over there, but I have not read it. Like, so I have The Great Divorce by C.S. Lewis. And then I have Beautiful Resistance, which I'm pretty sure this book is about resisting the temptation to sin and how it's beautiful. It says, in a time of compromise and disillusionment, God is calling his people to a movement of beautiful resistance. And I remember my pastor was actually talking about this book in church, and I remember, and that's when I got it, and now I'm gonna actually read it, you know. And then if you've been following my channel, then you know I've been reading these books for like a hot minute. It's like, what do I do why do I do what I don't want to do, and untangling my emotions? I need to finish both these books. I've started them both, just haven't finished them. I already highly recommend them if you're looking for more books. I already highly recommend them. I just need to finish them. So yeah, those are on my TBR. And I have The Gospel Treason, which I just started back up reading, and it's mainly about idols and how they never will satisfy us, and then they were never meant to satisfy us, and how they can ruin relationships. At least that's what I learned so far. But isn't the cover so cool? Yes. And then we have this book that I also started reading a while ago, and it's called How to Read the Bible for All That It's Worth. And I'm trying to read my Bible for all that it's worth. I don't know about y'all. Like I said, I love books like this. It's weird having a book about how to read when you're reading it. So, but yes, this is definitely a book I want to finish this year. But these are my Bible study I'm doing right now on the book of John, and I actually got this R.C. Sproul little commentary from Got Walls a long time ago, and they kind of like go together because they're both on the book of John, and I'll be reading the book of John with these two as well. Rest in peace to the legend, the Saint R.C. Sproul. The biggest book recommendation I have is the Bible itself. So if you don't have a Bible, get yourself a Bible, start there, and then slowly start building up and getting all these books right here, because that's where it starts. The Bible is where it starts. Yeah, I'll show you guys my Bible since you asked. I have the Jesus Bible ESV, and this is my baby right now, my baby for the year. I usually get a new Bible every year, but I got this one kind of later in the year and went through a little dry phase. So this baby, it really ain't even been used properly. So we're gonna keep this one for the year. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching my video and spending this time with me. And I hope these books treat you as well as they treated me. And yeah, like and subscribe and share this video with a friend. Happy New Year. And yeah, I'll see you guys.